that was Emperor of Poland from a demo called Emperor of the North Pole by Spaceballs. Um, now, let's see if we got John from Nivrig Gaming here with us. Can we get a spotlight and unmute John there? And here you go. So Dodgy Rocks was previewed at Amiga Ireland 2020, the Amiga version, and it was really busy with players competing on the for the high score there. Even some of the bar staff came in to play it actually, and came back later with their partners. So there was a really good atmosphere there around that table. The Amiga port was done by Rob actually, who just did the basic workshop earlier. And it's available on desktop and mobile as well. So the developer, Nivrig Games, is already working on another Amiga game called Turbo Tomato, which is a frantic and funny game. I love it. I think it's going to be really popular when it comes out. So hello to John. Do we have you there?
Hey, Arla. Yep, I'm here.
Fair play.
Enjoying the day now.
You're taking a break from the coding?
For half an hour, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. The last time we spoke, it was on the podcast, and you said that Dodgy Rock started off as a game for your son, that got kind of rethemed to make it releasable and stuff like that because it was based on Power Rangers, I think, at the time. So is that a similar way to how Turbo Tomato started off?
No. Turbo Tomato was actually a cartoon strip that my brother drew when he was in school when he was 15. He just had these crazy vegetable characters doing balance on each other. And I think he started originally to make an Amiga game out of it in Amos, because we both had A1200s at the time. And it didn't get very far, and it was a bit too slow. And at some point, and this is lost in memory from 25 years ago, but at some point I took over and started rewriting the same game, except in assembly, using his characters and his graphics.
Lovely. Yeah, they look brilliant. They just crack me up. And just going back to Dodgy Rocks for a second, what was the response like to that?
The Amiga version, the response has actually been fantastic, I think. There's been easily as many Amiga downloads as on sort of Windows and iOS put together. A few people made YouTube videos of it. Amiga Bill, who does sort of a stream every Sunday, has played it maybe 3 or 4 times. That and the Christmas version, Santa Rocks. So yeah, I mean, the response has been great, and it's a very close port to the PC version, which is no mean feat for Rob to achieve. So I think we've done pretty well with this. Yeah, pleased, happy, and then of course it's coming out on physical release pretty soon as well. So thanks to Phoenixware, it's been great.
Lovely. Yeah, I've pre-ordered it actually.
Oh yeah. You should have waited because there's a code for Amiga Ireland. You could have got some money off. $50 quid.
That's okay. Well, look, I was following, your devlog hashtag on Twitter, and it's a massive amount of work looking at the coding that goes into it, the porting it to the different platforms, the testing, little bugs you might find around whatever. It could be localization or some little quirks here and there to get all those platforms. Like, what on earth possessed you to do it again, to go back into another game, especially when it's in assembly?
What possessed me? I just enjoy doing it, frankly. I'm not doing this for money. It's something I enjoy doing. It's the same way people like to paint, people like to draw, people like to make models. I happen to like to stare and swear at assembly code and make games, That's kind of what it is. Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of work. Dodgy Rocks was a very simple game, but the PC version still took 8 or 10 months. Yeah. Part-time, obviously, but so yeah, there's a lot of work goes into it, but you don't really notice the time passing. I've been working on. Do
you want to show us a bit of Turbo Tomato, or
yeah, I have a video of it here. I can show you. So this is just a gameplay loop of Turbo. If you're familiar with Psycho Pigs UXB or Budasan from the arcades, you'll know exactly what you have to do. It's a 1 or 2 player co-op game. There's Turbo. and he runs around this various arenas, picks up bombs, and throws them at the bad guys to destroy them. You can freeze them. There's various power-ups like the freeze that you see active here. The idea is basically to clear each arena of enemies by destroying them with the bombs and move on to the next level. It's split up into 4 worlds, and there's I think there's 35 or 40 levels to get through, but they're non-linear paths, so you can choose different routes through the game. At the end of each world, there's a big boss for you to fight. And yeah, sort of fast, frantic arcade action with a good bit of humor in it, I think.
Yeah, the first time I found that, I actually didn't realize initially that it was easier production. But yeah, I really had a good laugh. I think just the way the characters look, the speed they move around, and the dynamic with the bombs, carrying the bombs before you throw them is just brilliant. And we've got a few comments here. All right, a few fans of Dodgy Rocks. Swearing a code is a perfectly valid debugging technique. Let's see. Do you have a Dodgy Rock style multiplayer for swearing a code? Yeah, and a lot of comments are saying this looks like a fun game. Seamus is asking, is this game released yet?
This game is not released yet. No. This game I started in 1993, and I picked up again last year. Obviously, 2020 happened, so I'm not as far on with it as I would like to be. But I think it should be released around the springtime of this year, all things being well. That's coming out as a physical release from, you see Bitmapsoft logo at the top there. They picked it up. I think they picked it up actually from some videos I posted of Amiga Ireland last year. Approached me about doing a physical release, so that's coming out as a deluxe boxed edition, hopefully towards the spring of this year. So you visit bitmapsoft.co.uk, you can see some of the other games I have, but Turbo's not on there yet because it's not ready.
Okay, lovely. So you said your brother did the art. Did you scan in hand drawings, or how did you?
No, well, the art you see here isn't all his, because we've got a couple of other pixel artists have joined since they restarted the project last year. But my brother, he did the original character graphics. So Turbo here and some of the enemies that you see are his work, and the initial tiles and things that aren't here anymore. It originally started off without any tile backgrounds; it was just blank. But yeah, I mean the character designs and things are based on his comic strip, but he did just a pixel art for it. You've gone very quiet. Yeah, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was just saying, what did he think of the Amiga himself?
Well, he was into Amiga probably as much as I was. He's was a few years younger than me, but we both had A1200s at the same time, and I was maybe early 20s, and he was 15 or 16. He made a couple of Amiga games himself on AmiNet now. I think he mentioned in the podcast, Nerdkill and Greeblies was the other one. So a similar sense of humor to Turbo, I think. We both share the same sort of sense of humor. So yeah, I mean, they're free games written in Blitz 2, so have a play at them. They're actually, they're pretty fun, I think. Although I'm biased, obviously. He's not really in the Amiga these days. Although he is very pleased that Turbo Tomato is finally going to see the light of day.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. But if you have any questions, you just pop them in the chat if there's any more questions, and just put the capital word question before it if you can. It just helps me pick it out from the chat. So, John, I played another one of your games that I found on AmiNet, where you're running around with a hammer smashing these characters. It was just a bonkers game, but I really had a good laugh playing that as well. It was a lovely, simple break to take, I think, from what I can remember. Your games have their own kind of humor to them. Do yourself and your brother have similar tastes in games, or a similar sense of humor, or what?
I think you're maybe talking about Nerdkill from the sound of that, which is one of Adam's games, one of my brother's games.
Nerdkill, yeah.
Yeah. I think neither of us are actually really big gamers or anything like that, but we're pretty similar. I think we certainly have the same sense of humor. Like you notice in the video with Turbo here, when you hit the bad guys, they split into parts, and arms and legs are flying everywhere, and we call that was hilarious to us. And the system that does that in the code is referred to as the slimy red bits, and that's sort of kind of our sense of humor. We have the same sort of thing. We have the same sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, he made Nerd Kill, but I could just have easily have made Nerd Kill. It could easily be something that I made.
Okay, so we've got a few questions here. So one is, will this be getting a box release as well? That's from Pixels at Dawn. And also, do you plan releasing a demo? That's from Mikhail.
I've no thoughts on the demo. There is an older demo from 1997 kicking about, but it's full of bugs and not entirely the same game anymore. So there may well be a one world demo or something like that. There will be a boxed release that's coming from Bitmapsoft. You see their logo at the top there. So they saw the game running from some pictures and some videos from Amiga Ireland last year, or I just had it running the old version as a demo. They approached me about doing a box release. So yeah, we're going to get a big box deluxe release with art from box art by Stu Campbell, which I'm very pleased about. I've seen it and it looks fantastic. If you pop into the games room, there's a looping video there. You can get a quick preview of the box art.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so don't forget to pop into the games room so to get a look at that.
Yeah, so Stu did the logo you see at the top of the screen there as well. Yeah, so it's really helped. Dodgy Rocks runs on many platforms. Do they use platform C or some language? The many platforms, the modern platforms, if you like, were written in Godot engine, which is an open source free game engine. And for the Amiga version, Rob basically took that code and rewrote it in AmiBlitz or Blitz 2. So that's how that was achieved. Turbo Tomato will not be available on Android because it's 50 or 60,000 lines of 60K assembly. So I'm not porting that data set to Android. It would need to be a rewrite.
yeah. You have to look after your well-being as well.
Yeah. I've been working on Turbo Tomato from 1993, so maybe I should do something else. Make another game.
Fair enough. Yeah, that'd be great. I think the Turbo Tomato characters would look great in a t-shirt, by the way. I'd love Turbo Tomato t-shirts.
Turbo Tomato merch, I think, could be on the way.
Right, yeah. Like, especially, okay, see there, now the red and the green guy at the top of the screen, like, just like that. I just think that
that's Nitro. That's player 2. So it's a 2-player co-op, but you can join pretty much anytime.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for the goodies, John. Where can people follow you for updates if they want to follow your work?
Okay, nope, not that one. Where's my contact details? There it is. Yeah, mostly I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter as @Nivrig, and that's where I'll post most of devlogs of what I'm doing, Turbo Tomato and various other bits and pieces. A lot of retro content if you're into that sort of thing, which I think you might be. And also on my itch page, nivrig.itch.io, you can grab Dodgy Rocks and a couple of other PC games that I've made so far. Yeah, that's how you get me.
Okay.
I do occasionally post devlogs, but I've sort of stopped doing that because there aren't enough hours in the day.
Yeah, it's time consuming. Even posting a picture sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a couple full of pictures that never got posted.
Yeah, you'll get I'll post GIFs and code and complaints on Twitter, so yeah, you'll find me. Probably some point later on today in a side room or something, or maybe in the main room, I'll probably be continuing to work on Turbo Tomato a little bit. So get some previews of World 3 boss and World 4 levels and things like that.
Nice one. Okay, so you can watch the Nivrig, that's the John Girvin camera there if anyone wants to see some of the progress on the game there. John, best of luck with it, and thanks.
Thanks. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, folks.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm going to share some high scores with you folks and just give you a quick look at where the score is. Okay, so FS Phil is at the top of the normal. It's 7,000 points with Aris Amiga behind him. And we have Matty down there at 140 as well. Come on, Matty. And in Nightmare, we've got Giro and Aris Amiga. Yeah, and the other requested ones still don't have anybody actually playing them, which is fine. Okay. So in about 15 minutes, we're going to have, we might even start a few minutes early actually, if they're available to give us a bit more time. We're going to have a chat with the CEO of Abstraction Games. If you look up abstractiongames.com, you'll see they've ported some like really well-known games, and thankfully they're Amiga fans as well, working on a really cool project. So they're going to give us the in a couple of minutes. And between now and then,